Whoa, that was quick. Well, this morning I've just finished watching a video by Randy. Those that haven't a clue what I'm talking about, I'll just fill you in a little bit more. And that is that Randy and Rose, unfortunately, have redesigned or redefined their relationship here in the Philippines following the disclosure to each other and also to YouTube world out there. And inevitably, with any kind of drama and controversy, there's going to be all kinds of reactions, especially from those keyboard warriors out there, keen to give their learned perspective on life. Well, Randy, number one, 10 out of 10 for the courage to go on. And again, to not only try and fill in the gaps that maybe at the time of the disclosure with Rose on a previous video, you maybe didn't go into in major depth, but I think you did a great job at showing people relationships aren't just lovey-dovey moments. They're checkered with many ups and downs and weaves and sidesteps. And like an honourable person he is, yes, he's American too, but you do pretty well for someone you describe as a drunkard, a heavy smoker, and someone who in early life started it with cerebral palsy. So to a great degree, you're up against it right from the word go. But you've made the most of it. You're 67 years old. You've got your head, I think, screwed on the right way. And I say that because we all need to remember that each of us have to deal with life ourselves. We cannot live our lives through the eyes of others. We have to deal with the pressures, sometimes the silence that we create around us to enable us to deal with each moment. Those that have followed my channel or our channel have seen the ups and downs and weaves that I've experienced. And no doubt the reason that you're following me also is to maybe learn from some of the experiences that both Randy and I have had, along with Joe Garcia, and of course my dear friend Ian living in the Philippines. He seems to be the only one that is weathering the storm, so to speak, the only one that none of these things happen to, or do they? We'll leave you to work that one out. Because they often say, how can you say that when you've never walked in my shoes? How can you make those assumptions when you really know nothing? And Randy did a great job at explaining to you and me where he's coming from. I got a little bit lost in the end in the analogy or the sort of hypothetical argument about money, but I do get the gist that many of you out there see your lives in retirement as not only holding on to your money, but almost worshipping it. And I also agree that the name tag on the end of what I think you called it, the toe tag, We're all going to have a toe tag one day. That's all we're going to be, an empty shell with a name on the end of a piece of cardboard tied to our toe, so that they know who to bury or cremate. Therefore, the amount of money you have, the amount of so-called wealth that you claim to have, really doesn't do anything for you. You can say you've got 30 million stuck in the bank or a couple of million in your debit card. But what does that really tell you? It tells you that you've got money. Are you happy? I doubt it. You can be generous, but you're not generous if you're also then looking at your pile of money all the time. And of course, as we get older, that pile of money will dwindle anyway. And if that pile of money can help others while you're alive to experience the giving rather than receiving, because the receiving in a way is nothing to do with money. It's the reaction that you get from doing good things. That's where you get the receiving. It's not measured in this way. It's measured here. There is an obsession with so many Americans here who come here supposedly to retire and then discover that, okay, the Philippines wasn't for me. She took me to the cleaners, or she tried her best to. No, she didn't. You let go of the control on your own money. You were the one that was generous. You were the one that was foolish. You were the one that didn't really think with the right brain. You thought with that one. Now, some might say, well, you had a good time thinking with that one. But did you? Because if you've lost all that money, you've just paid for it anyway. We do make that mistake here as foreigners. We say, oh, look, the rent's only $7,000 a month, or it's $20,000 a month. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter, because we should be comparing our lives as to how we can have a better life here than that of being alone with limited resources overseas. I mean, if you're paying no rent back home, then you're paying no rent. But as he rightfully said, you're paying property tax, insurance, levies, contents insurance, you name it, bank fees. That makes no difference, because if you're paying $1,000, $1,200 a month for a modest little room somewhere in California, or maybe in England or Australia, that's dead money. That's money out of your income or out of your savings. And if, for many of you who built a home here, you all point out it's your house. Yes, it is your house. You paid for it. And yes, she can make your life hell if she wants to. But in most cases, they're more than likely to just put up and shut up. Because the reality is that they also have to live where you built that home. The neighbours aren't stupid. Their friends aren't stupid that so-and-so had very little before you came along, and suddenly they have all the trappings of a wealthy or modest lifestyle. Of course they know it's come from you. It's a gift from you. It's a legacy from you. So if you're living rent-free, multiply what you would have spent. For example, my mortgage that I had on the small hobby farm that I had in Australia was $1,500 a month, plus insurance, plus all the other bits, but $1,500 to live in my home on my land. But I was paying the bank $1,500 a month for the next 12 years. Now, $1,500 a month Make it 1,200. 14,500 a year. Dollars. 14.5. That's 140,000 in 10 years that I've been here. It would have cost me. How much have I gone through? Building a house, 90, 100,000. Already I'm in front. Why am I in front? Because that's what I would have spent if I'd stayed in miserable Australia and been unhappy, instead of coming here chasing my dream. Sure, it was interrupted, but my dream still continues, and my dream will continue, regardless of where or what I'm doing. Because, like Randy, I see life in a more holistic way. It's about treating others as you would want to be treated yourself. It's about doing the best you can under the circumstances. It's about being happy in yourself. It's being comfortable in your surroundings. And those that want to criticize you, really in a way, are just envious or jealous or maybe both. And no doubt there'll always be the snide little remarks because it's YouTube. It's the nature of the beast. There are people out there, sad individuals, that think it's smart to make horrible comments about you or your partner. I only have to look at myself, and I look at the comments that used to come from my dear friend Mike's Philippine journey. What an AO. Just thank God he's off the air, because not only did he create problems for me or highlight issues that really were none of his business, he decided that he would make his channel a Dr. Doolittle. He did little, but he tried to be a psychologist for everybody's situation. Some of you who used to follow him still follow me, hoping I'll fall on my face. But like Randy, to you, and to those out there who supported me, still support me, support Jane and the girls. Thank you, and thank you all for watching. Bye now.